by those call letters at the beginning of the show. It's time for Reality Radio. I'm your host, your chocolate host who likes to smile the most, E. Reed. And thank y'all for joining me tonight, today, whatever part of the world you are in.
All right. And Reality Radio takes place every Monday at 7 p.m. right here on 4 Presents, Spreaker.com/user/4 Presents Radio. I'm Double K. I'll catch you on the flip side.
Tune in, folks. It's now time for Double K's Lesson of the Day.
All right. So today's lesson of the day, I can't necessarily say it's going to be short and sweet, but it's going to be very simple. It's going to be answering one question from my personal perspective as a non-Raiders fan. So no direct bias of what I'm saying from fandom, so to speak. That is Derek Carr an elite quarterback, part one, and eventually a Hall of Fame quarterback, part two? Is he an elite quarterback? Yeah. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Drew Brees, except he's a little bit bigger physically. His brother was a very good quarterback, David Carr. He just never really had a chance to shine the way Derek's going to have, having as many offensive weapons and such a great running back to rely on in Marshawn Lynch. He's going to have targets in Jared Cook or Lee Smith, Mari Cooper and Michael Crabtree, Cordell Patterson, Seth Roberts. He's got one of the deepest wide receiving corps in all of football. So I think, yeah, Derek Carr is an elite quarterback. Derek Carr it was shown primarily last year to me when Derek Carr went out and how the team's offense struggled with Connor Cook, who was a very good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Like, Connor Cook is a decent quarterback, but even Connor Cook with all those weapons couldn't elevate them to that level where they could even win one playoff game against a team that they were better than. Don't get me wrong. They were playing against one of the top defenses in all of football, but the Raiders' offense is better than Houston's defense. So they should have been able to at least get the victory, like 17-14 or something like that. But they just couldn't get it done. Partially because of the fact that the Raiders' defensive backs, who I've talked about on multiple occasions, as needing some work after being burnt so many times last season. The New Orleans game shouldn't have been as close as it was, except for them getting burnt. It seemed like any time that they met up with a quarterback that had an arm or that could do something that could match Derek Carr and his level, they would end up in a shootout because the defensive backs just couldn't hold or couldn't cover the cornerbacks long enough for Khalil Mack and them boys and Bruce Irvin and them boys and Malcolm Smith and them boys to go to work and get the sacks and so on and so forth that they were so hungry for. So going back to my initial question, is Derek Carr an elite quarterback? Yes. You take a kid that has a couple of 3,000-yard seasons underneath his belt. This is his third year in the league, and he's gotten better just about every single year. When you look at him statistically, this is his third year in the league. He's thrown for at least 3,900 yards every year except for his rookie year. He's thrown for at least 20 touchdowns, threw for 30 2 years ago, and would have thrown for 30 if he hadn't got injured last year. Has only thrown for 51 touchdowns, 31 interceptions. He has a QBR over what? He played in 15 and 16, so he only missed one game last year. He said his career QBR of 87.9, peaked out with a 96.7. This kid's only going to get better. So is Derek Carr an elite quarterback? Yes. Is Derek Carr a Hall of Fame quarterback? Now that's what's left to be seen. We've seen elite quarterbacks make the Hall of Fame without winning a Super Bowl. I don't think Derek Carr is going to fall into that thing. I don't think Derek Carr is going to be Dan Marino. And the reason why I say that is because I think with the team that surrounds him now and the Raiders having a couple of more years to get better when it comes to cornerbacks and shoring up that part of the offense or defense, They have a stout offensive line with a lot of young bucks who can get the job done. So I expect the Raiders to continue to be able to protect Derek Carr. I expect Derek Carr to eventually get his confidence back early in the season, game one, game two, and we'll start seeing the old Derek Carr who's out there as a gunslinger. Like I said, a cross between Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, you could say. The kid can move a little bit, but he's not necessarily going to tear up the field if he runs upfield, but he can definitely move and throw on the move. So that being said, is he a Hall of Fame QB? I think he will be a Hall of Fame QB because he will win a couple of Super Bowls. He's that elite level. Will he reach Tom Brady's level after Tom Brady is left, where he is the face of the league and he is considered widely the ruler by which everybody else is measured at the quarterback position? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Does he have the potential to do that? Oh, yeah, by far. We'll have to see how long Tom plays. Because right now Tom is that standard bearer. The closest that we've seen to come to being that standard bearer is Peyton Manning. So is Derek Carr up there at that level? Yeah, he's getting up there. I give him a lot of credit. Like I said, I do expect him to make the Hall of Fame. I do expect him to win at least one or two championships, probably within the next 4 or 5 years before the Raiders get back to struggling and Carr just is kind of sticking with it through the later years of his career, looking back on the glory days of when they won a title or two before the move to Vegas. So that's pretty much it. Those are my two questions. Is Derek Carr an elite QB? Yes. Top 5 QB? Yes. Is Derek Carr a Hall of Fame QB? Yes. So with that being said, that's it for my lesson of the day. We're going to take a quick commercial break and come back, and then we will talk some Raiders free agency and some top 5 players to watch and on offense and on defense on the Raiders this year, starting with number 5 and going to number 1. You're listening to Double K's Classroom right here on the 4Aces Network. This has been my lesson of the day. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.
Tune in, folks. It's now time for Double K's Lesson of the Day.
Hey, tune in Friday nights on Spreaker.com. 4Aces Presents Radio for Planet of Cole or Double K's Classroom. Then you get Planet of Cole, Blues Rock and Cole, and Double K's 5th period music class. That starts at 8 p.m. Pacific, and Planet of Cole is at 9 p.m. Pacific. Appreciate it. What's good, Planet Earth? Just reminding y'all to check out MVT Deuce. It's our floater show here at 4Aces Presents Radio on Spreaker.com, featuring the Saint and the Collective. Check them out. It's random times, it's live shows, it's great music. So just keep your eyes peeled. Take it easy.
All right. So I am back, and I am here to tell you that the Raiders, I expect them to be a good team this year. I truly do. There is something special when I look at that offense. I see a team full of players that can really get the job done, did last year all the way up until Derek Carr got hurt. So let's start out with who the Raiders grabbed this offseason. They lost Latavius Murray, replaced him with Marshawn Lynch. To me, was smart. They lost Malcolm Smith from the middle linebacker position to the 49ers, who is unfortunately out with a pectoral muscle, so we're not really going to be able to see what he can even do in San Francisco for this year. Maybe next year. He's on a 5-year contract. 103 sacks last year that they lost. 103 tackles, no sacks, couple forced fumbles, and an INT. They lost their top rusher in Latavius Murray, 788 yards, 12 TDs. Shouldn't be too hard for Marshawn Lynch to replicate that or do better. Malcolm Smith is going to be replaced by a young cat named Markel Lee. But we'll have to see how he plays out as the season goes along. Like I said, he's a young cat. I believe he's in his first or his second year. So we wouldn't be able to really judge what he's done until he does it. But right now he is projected to start at the middle linebacker position. So we'll start there. Top 5 players on defense to watch. Number 5 is Mario Edwards Jr. Mario Edwards Jr. is coming off of a injury from last year that kept him out all last year, and he is one of the integral parts and one of the main reasons why the team was willing to let go of Malcolm Smith is that they were getting back another edge rusher that could get the job done. He'll start at right defensive end opposite Khalil Mack. Um, Number 4 player to watch is Sean Smith. They picked him up a couple years ago, big money, so that he could help shore up the secondary. He got burnt a lot in his first year. Last year he did a little bit better, didn't get burnt as much, had 2 INTs, no sacks, no fumbles, and 40 tackles. I believe he did get hurt for a couple of games throughout the season. That number 3 person to watch on defense is that cat that I was telling you about, Markel Lee. He's a great kid that should perform well this season. He's a rookie. I forget out of where, but we're going to be able to, hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Wake Forest. He's a rookie out of Wake Forest and is projected to play extremely well. So he'll have his shot. Right now, like I said, he's penciled in as the starting middle linebacker over Terrell Adams. But this kid is expected to do some big things, especially in that Raiders defense. Bruce Irvin is the number 2 player to watch, one of the most consistent players since he started. 57 tackles, 7 sacks, 6 forced fumbles, no INTs. But playing opposite or playing on the same side as Khalil Mack, it makes it, or that strong side linebacker, it makes it extremely difficult for a team to focus on one particular area. The Raiders front 7, easily a top 5 front 7 in all of football. So once again, I expect that to drive them with Derek Carr back on the offensive end. Number 1, of course, is their what should be defensive MVP or defensive player of the year, Khalil Mack, who finished last year with 73 tackles, 11 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, and an INT. This kid is young and only getting better, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do this year. The rumor has it that he's shooting for 30 sacks, and with the youth and the players that the Raiders have, that he just might get it. Some positions battles to watch throughout this preseason for the Raiders are cornerback 2 position, which will be battled over between David Emerson and Garrett Conley, or Garland Conley. Sorry, the rookie out of Ohio State. I think that Emerson has the edge, having played in this defense before last year. So I think that he'll most likely start the season there. But I could see Conley by late season taking over that second cornerback position opposite Sean Smith. The second battle is middle linebacker with, like I said, Markel Lee, Terrell Adams, and Xavier Woodson. Yeah, Xavier Woodson. So I expect Lee to get it, but we'll see. You never know. I've seen stranger things happen with teams heading into, especially with a rookie at that position, heading into the season. Nose tackle is another interesting position to watch between Justin Ellis and Darius Latham. Both of those guys are skilled players. We'll see them probably rotated in and out of the rotation and use both equally. But I think the edge as far as starting will probably go to Ellis. All right, so now on the offensive side of the ball, top 5 players to watch are wide receiver Amari Cooper, who's returning from his best season since his rookie year, 83 receptions, 1153, or a better season than his rookie year. Basically, he's getting better every year. 83 receptions, 1,153 yards, 5 touchdowns, second only to Michael Crabtree's 8. Incoming receiver at number 4, or Cooper, I expect to have another great season. Him and Carr seem to have a connection. They came in pretty much in the same draft and will pretty much probably play most of their career together. Cordell Patterson is number 4 on my list. He came in from Minnesota this offseason, and let me just tell you, the kid has skill, the kid has speed, and I expect him to do well in this Raiders offense. Expect him to take over that slot position from Seth Roberts. Having Crabtree, Cooper, and Patterson out there will be the best possible look, along with the next guy on my top offensive players to watch, and that's Jared Cook. Cook is a beast. He was a beast in Green Bay. When he had a hell of a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball, he'll be a beast here in Oakland. And he loves to block. That's another great thing about him. When you have a tight end like that can block, it's all good. Number 2 is the returning from retirement, Marshawn Lynch. Lynch is a player that I really expect to perform well. I expect him with at least 11 to 1,200 yards, at least 5 to 10 touchdowns, even coming out of retirement, playing behind this offensive line and with this quarterback. Love it. Number 1 is Derek Carr. 96.7 QBR, 3,900 yards, 28 TDs, 6 interceptions, and 6 sacks, including the fatal one that put him out for the rest of the season after Week 15. So, can this team win a Super Bowl? Yeah. I'm going to say it the same way I said it on West Coast Bias this past Sunday on my final episode. I believe that the Raiders cap out this year is the AFC Championship game. I believe that they're good enough to get there